Oh, hey, girl.
Hey,
We doing it. We doing it. Look,
we
we
are really doing it. Oh, I forgot to put my handle, I guess, on my name or whatever.
okay. So I got you. I got you.
Okay.
I
Should
got
I
you. I got
notify?
you.
Let's say, should I notify
You
my
can if
people?
you want. Look, there you go. I got you running as a ticker at the bottom.
Nice.
All right, y'all. Y'all got to be patient with us. We just figuring this out.
I
This
was about to say, are we
Instagram.
like live?
We live, girl. We live, live.
Oh,
We live, live. We on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram all at the same damn time. Look,
nice.
welcome to the new improved towers. Just saying.
Nice. Come on, improvements.
Look, come
Yes.
on through. Come on through. Come on through.
Right. Going
Child,
home right
yes.
now?
Look, I'm trying to. Yeah, we blowing up, girl. We blowing all the way up.
Right, right. That's funny. My
Oh,
sister,
look,
she
I just logged on to see. Yeah, we are live on all of them. This is my first time doing this, and so everybody knows I've been transitioning this platform over to do other things. Because
right.
what I'm doing with I'm capturing the video to add on to the Spotify and iHeart and all of that, right? And so, da 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 da, here we are.
Nice. Nice.
Well,
Congratulations.
everyone, why, thank you. Look, I can't be telling people what to do and training people on doing stuff. Hey, D Tuggle, how are you? I can't be
Right.
training people on other business owners on what to do with all these platforms, and then I
Mm-hmm.
don't have it right. I can't be doing it.
Right.
So, because I'm quick to tell somebody what to do, and then my
Hilarious.
ass don't be doing it.
Right. I was just talking about
So,
that the other day. I'm like, because someone said something of, oh, I saw a post where they said, would you take advice from like for basically for business owners? They were saying, would you take advice from a business owner who isn't doing as well as you? And I'm
mhm.
like, well, some people can give excellent advice, doesn't mean they're applying it to them. So you can still learn something from somebody, even if they're not
But I'm
doing
gonna
what
tell
you're
you
doing.
this, right? But you know what? I'm gonna tell you this, right? A lot of people get stuck in their own ways, right?
Hmm.
Like I'll give you the advice, but ooh, I don't know if it'll work for me, but it might work for you. Try it first and
Right.
we'll see what happens.
Right.
And that's how a lot of people be thinking.
Yeah, no, for
And
real.
so, mhm,
Like I know some people, matter of fact, I know some people who have helped other people get off certain substances and the people change their lives and all that. But that same person that helped change somebody else's life, they didn't make it. They gave excellent
ain't that
advice
something?
and the person applied it to them. It's like, I might not
Hmm.
do it. But
Ain't that something?
ain't
Well,
that something?
everyone, welcome, welcome, welcome. Let me introduce y'all to my guest, who y'all already know, the fabulous Also Cupcakes owner, Chef Megan Ashley. She is a foodie, a baker, a author, a serial entrepreneur, and a partridge in a pear tree. How about that? That sums it up.
that
Me and Meg's been rocking for, oh my God. We met
that's
online during the pandemic. We've been rocking ever since. Oh my God. This
yeah.
is like one of my girls, one of my go-tos. Love her to pieces. Mises pieces.
The feeling is mutual. I talk about you all the time. I'm like, she has helped me so much, and just she had me cracking up. I'm like, that's one of the good things that came out of the pandemic. I we all tried to in some way make it the best that
Mhm.
we could or get something out of it. And I appreciate you and just the influence and impact you've had on my life, the help that
Aw.
you've given me. I seriously appreciate it. I ain't trying to buddy up for nothing, but no, you are OG, triple OG. I really appreciate it.
Girl, anything I can do to help, child, that's what I'm here for. Like I tell everyone, I'm here to help, not to hinder. And
Right.
there's so many people out there, it's like I'm gonna keep it 100 as we always do about this time. Um,
Mm-hmm.
we see so many people doing things. How can I put it? It was a lot of opportunists out there during the pandemic. And with that being said, we saw a lot of things happening, a lot of things just wasn't right, wasn't moving the way that should have been moved, right? And
Right.
so with that, it was just like being able to now see authenticity at its finest, and
Absolutely.
looking out for those who are authentic. Now, granted, some folks we did see during that time that was authentic, but then there was people out there who wasn't, and it was
Mm-hmm.
funny because they showed up and showed themselves during that
They
time.
they did, and it's people don't realize the one of the things with the pandemic is the cover was taken off.
Mhm,
So the things that you used to do when everybody was so busy being distracted by life and everything else
mhm,
that was going on, just your daily
mhm,
tasks, the same
mhm.
things you were doing before, you couldn't do as easily during the pandemic because we were all at home paying
Right.
attention.
Hello.
Paying much better attention than we would had we been trying to worry about, family and work
Mhm,
and all
mhm,
this other stuff. So yeah, but
mhm.
no, that there were some good things that came out of the pandemic. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's like I appreciate the friendships. I'm gonna say the family because, and I say it
Right,
family because you look at friends, some of the friends that you met during that time, you look at them more as family more so than just friends,
right.
and it's like a lot of people had a sense of, I know you and I had a conversation before about, people trying to find their own sense of purpose during that
Right,
time, trying to find
right.
their sense of purpose, trying to find their own way, their own popularity, trying to
Mm-hmm.
find themselves during
Yeah,
that time,
absolutely.
and at the end of the day, we didn't know what anybody was going through. All we knew was surface.
Right. We didn't know what they were dealing with in
Hmm.
real life because
Hmm.
they created or they definitely hyped up their representatives in
Hmm.
some cases.
How about
I
that?
feel like that's the nicest way to put it.
That's a nice way of putting it. Hey, John Copeland, how are you? Happy Sunday. Yeah, I mean, so it was like when we think about all of this that has been going on, it's just like all we can do is, just say, thank God that we made it to the next day, as
Right,
well
right,
as, being, grateful, that we've made the relationships and came in contact with all of those that we've come in contact with.
right. Absolutely. Now I can't see the platform that I'm looking at. Just so everybody knows, the platform that I'm looking at, I can't see the comments on Instagram, but I did turn it on my other phone. So I will say, when you
Hmm.
speak of family, yes, John Copeland, Susan Copeland, the Copelands as a team.
Beautiful couple,
Family, beautiful couple. That's another
beautiful
huge
couple,
blessing
beautiful couple.
that came out of the pandemic for real, for real, for real. So I
Mm-hmm.
appreciate them. I don't know if John is still in here, but I appreciate them so much. Just the kindness in general, but the realness
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
all of that stuff and a partridge in a
Hmm.
pear tree.
And a partridge in a pear tree. So, we crazy. So, what I thought we would talk about is I said we was talking about tonight your pastry business, of course, and all of the businesses that you have going on right now. But I also was talking about the correlation that it is with mental health,
Mhm.
the correlation with pastries, mental health, and we, when we eat, we find good things to eat, and pastries is always looked upon as a comfort food, and
Mhm.
we use that. You give me something chocolate, child, is over. I'm feeling
Right.
good. I'm doing good. Everything is all to the good, you know. But but I just thought that we could have a conversation about this,
Yeah,
about
I
the effect that it has on us.
I saw the topic and I was like, "Ooh, she went deep for it." But
Girl,
and I
that's a
was
new
like,
platform. Look, that's a new
right,
platform.
right. Come on now. But I was thinking about it and I was like, I don't want anybody to think that I would just encourage people just, cuz I have a tendency, I'm as much as I make sweets and I do like
Mhm,
sweets, but I have certain sweets I
mhm,
like, but a lot of the stuff that I make, I know it's good and I'll eat it cuz it tastes
mhm,
good, but I'm not a big cake person or
mhm,
just like give me some cheesecake or some ice cream and I'm good. People always get surprised by that because they're like, oh, I bet you eat all of your stuff. But I will say that off and on I have been an emotional eater, and it's not
mhm,
necessarily when things are bad, but I'll go to food or something like that.
mhm, mhm,
So but for me, they talk about the serotonin and the boost, and I was like, okay, I don't want people to think that I'm like, make sure you eat as many sweets per day as possible to make yourself feel good about yourself. But there is a correlation with that. We've it's been ingrained in us from birthdays to
mhm,
weddings, all the celebrations you have
mhm,
with you. And if it's good, you're gonna walk away from it and years later you'll be talking about, remember that cake they had at such and such. But it does bring joy and it can uplift you. Lately I've been seeing a lot of people making posts and they're like, they realize it doesn't need to be my birthday for me to buy a birthday cake, but they know the feeling that it
mhm.
gives them, so
Right.
they have little slices and things like that. But to take it a step further, I would say, as a pastry chef, as a baker, for
Mhm,
me, when it comes to mental health, for me, it is therapeutic. It's
mhm,
my time to it's a relaxing thing for me, but I can think through some things, and as I'm working,
mhm,
I'm working out and things are coming together. I'm feeling better. It's for my
mhm,
mental health. It's like to decompress is something that, I can do by myself. I can think how I think, and I like to listen to music when I bake. So I've had so many
mhm,
people that are like, "Oh, you probably drink wine and this and that." And I'm like, "Why would I be doing that?" Cuz I know people do that when they cook. I'm like,
mhm.
I'm making people's orders. So we're not going to do that cuz I don't know what I'll end up making like.
Right. The thing is, you don't want it to like turn out like to be like an addictive type of thing.
Right, right. Or something. I might put something in there ain't
Mhm.
supposed to be in there. But
That part.
it brings joy. It brings joy. And I
Mhm,
think that people should treat themselves at least once a month or something,
mhm,
because that feeling that it gives you, that serotonin, that
mhm.
I don't know, serotonin, dopamine, all of that release. Um it brings me joy. But yeah, I'm
Yes.
thinking more in terms of the process. That's what's therapeutic for
Mhm,
me.
mhm. I know that's right. One thing I used to always tell people that like to cook, whether you're cooking, just a regular meal or baking, if you don't feel like doing something, don't do it. You could mess up
Yes.
a recipe. I remember one time I messed up. Oh my goodness, I can't even think of the countless recipes I messed up. I wanted chocolate mousse and I wanted this chocolate mousse cake so bad. I wanted it bad, right?
Mhm.
Got the bag, I got everything together. I was like, what did I forget? And why is the batter so runny? Didn't know what I forgot till I went to go taste it. Girl, my father was like, throw that shit in the trash. Mm-mm, we can't do this. Girl, I forgot the sugar.
Oh,
I
okay.
said, how did
That
I do that?
might.
I didn't feel like doing it, but I sure as hell wanted it. When I tell you it was horrible, I was like, oh my God, no, I'm not feeling this.
Yeah.
And from that moment
As
on, that's when I said, nope, if you don't feel like doing something, don't do it. Put it to the
right,
side,
right,
let somebody else do it. Don't you do it.
right. And
Has that ever
especially,
happened to you?
um yes, it has, in a way. I think
Hmm.
but I probably can't totally remember. But there have been times that I've made something, and then I
Hmm.
realized it wasn't necessarily that I missed the steps. I just used the wrong ingredients, and I
Okay.
didn't realize that there was one time that I used a different type of butter than I was supposed to
Hmm.
for some cookies, and I
Hmm.
still went with the regular recipe. So I added the right amount of salt, but
Hmm.
because I used the wrong salted butter, which I was not supposed to do, I
Oh.
couldn't figure out why someone was like, and this is the first and only time it happened, but they were like, the cookies are salty. And I was like,
Hmm.
I'm thinking something's wrong with it. So I'm like, what? And I didn't argue, but I'm like, that's really odd. And then it
Right.
dawned on me after I had made it. I'm like, it had too much salt. And I'm like trying to pride myself. And I was like, let me go ahead and humble myself real quick.
Right. Right.
Like, let
Right.
me sit down and be humble, like Kendrick Lamar said. Because yeah, no, but I think it's been ingrained in me so much to, like, if it's a new recipe, read the
Hmm.
recipe at least twice and make
Okay.
sure I have everything out before I get started.
Hmm.
And I think that that is actually, when we still going back to mental health, it's
Hmm.
helped me in other areas to
Okay.
see, if it's something I need to do or something that's happened or whatever, or yeah, just
Hmm.
something that I need to do. I need to be
Okay.
able to see before I start this,
Hmm.
what do I have that I can help myself with? Or,
Hmm.
make things a little easier because we're working smarter, not harder.
Hmm.
That's what we're doing.
Right. Okay.
So that's been a thing for me. I'm like, I have to take inventory, I guess you could say, of
Hmm.
things before, and even if it's not necessarily something I have to do, but if I feel like something is coming up or something might happen, I have to
Right.
step back and see what the picture really is before I freak
Okay.
out.
Oh,
So
I understand.
yeah.
Nobody wants to freak out. That's for sure.
Right. So I'm looking at solutions before I panic.
Hmm. Okay. So let me ask you, what have you been to? What have you been up to the past 5 months, 6 months? Oh my God, we 6 months
I
into the year. What's been
know.
going on?
Because
What's been going on,
it's been a long time since we went live and everything.
girl? I
So
know. Look, okay. So I guess I need to give a little backstory. So I've been on hiatus for the past, ooh, I guess 6 months.
has it
I've
been?
been off and on. It might have been a little longer than that. I've been off and on and off and on and off and on. And what was been happening is for those that don't know, I had to complete my dissertation in order to confirm my degree as far as my doctoral degree. And
Hey.
so during this time, this hiatus that I've been off, and I'll share my story of everything that has happened to me over the past 10 years with this doctoral journey, because it has been a journey that has been out of control.
Mm-hmm.
Um, my the school that I finished at, I will say is one of the best schools in the country.
Nice.
Um, okay. What I will say is so during this time, I'm one that's all over the place. I have many businesses, I have many things that I'm doing all at the same time. And a
Mm-hmm.
friend of mine gave me some advice, and she said to me back, look at the when I got this advice, right? You gonna holler. She gave me this advice in 2021, and I wrote the advice on a little piece of paper that I keep in my wallet.
Mm-hmm.
And the little piece of paper says, stay laser focused. Pick one thing to do and stay laser focused, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I said, you know what? I need to follow what this paper is saying. I'm carrying it in my damn wallet, but I'm not paying attention, Megs,
Right.
right? So I decided to go laser focus. So I focused all the way through. Things happened very, very fast.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, real fast. And so, I mean, yeah, I'm gonna say real fast because I set a deadline when they asked me when do you plan on being done, and I said I'm gonna be done. Actually, the original date for me to be done was last year because I was
Mm-hmm.
like, I'm tired of writing this paper because for everybody that don't know, my paper was already written.
Oh, what?
A little thing called COVID 2020 pandemic happened,
Oof.
and it squashed my paper. It squashed all my research. And the reason it squashed my research because it was about social identity and social media.
Mm.
And everything that I wrote about came to life.
Yeah,
So
that's
I didn't know
mm,
how to navigate. And it was like at this point, I had written over, I think I had close to 600 pages written. I had
wow.
to go back, and it was just like too much because now my research is pretty much done. I still have my paper. I still have all my research, of course.
Mm,
At some moment I might decide later on down the road to resurface back and redo the whole article, get it article and publish it and
right,
all of that later on. But
right,
at the time, it just threw me for a loop. So I just said, "Oh, the
mhm,
hell with it. I'm not. I'm just going to pick a new topic and
right.
just go with that." So my dissertation that I wrote, I paid homage to all of my business owners. I did 14 business owners. The reason I chose 14 was because I didn't get 15. So, and that was fine. Look, ah,
Like, girl, I was
even,
waiting for
and it
some
was so
deep
funny.
meaning. She was like, "Cause I didn't get 15."
Let me tell you, it was crazy, right? And so y'all probably like, she talking about this. She got mags on. I'm talking about this because guess who was one of my participants in my dissertation?
Yay.
Yours truly, Chef
Mm,
Megs,
totally
was a
an
part of
honor.
my dissertation process. And it was a blast interviewing her and having her tell her story about everything she's done over the number of years since starting her business. So
Mhm,
I defended my dissertation on May the 23rd of 2024,
mhm,
and everything was approved. I didn't have I had my defense. Everything went smooth. Everything went well, and hence I go
mm.
forward to graduate on July 10th. So
Nice.
that's where I've
Congratulations.
been. That's what's been going on. And so now I'm like, and it was so funny because I was talking to my business coach, who was also a part of my dissertation team. Look, I'm telling you, I had to go to everybody.
Hey, you
I
gotta
was
do what you
pulling
gotta
for
do.
like, yo. But I was so happy to have all the people that I had a part of my dissertation committee, all of the women that I interviewed, because people that I didn't expect actually
Nice.
and showed out when it was
Nice.
time to. I had
Mm,
some naysayers, believe it or not. Oh, that's just stupid. I did have somebody say that. That's stupid. And so I was like, that's fine. Thank you very much.
right.
And I moved it along. I'm like on to the next. And so with that being said, it's like now getting back, it was like, okay, so my coach says to me the other week, Salisha says, what you gonna do with your time now? Here I go, huh?
Right.
You ain't focused on that paper, so what we doing? And
My
I said, well, I'm gonna go back to doing my podcast and going live and doing all the things that I was doing before.
that time
I
now.
said, I'm just trying to
Right.
do things at a certain pace now. And so she said,
Right.
okay, well, get started. And so at that moment, I was like, all right, let me start sending everything out. And so I started sending out invites, for people to want to come on, talk about their business. Let's go ahead and get this started and
Right.
everything. I've
Right.
been working with Michelle, formerly of Gossip and Heifers. I've been working
Yeah.
with her
I
on a
saw
number of
her. She has
things.
a
And yeah,
new
she
new
changed her
podcast.
platform. Oh, her talk show is hilarious. I love it.
Wow.
She's on Spotify. And so
Okay.
her new show is great as well. So if you can, make sure you hop in and watch that as well. She was doing Chef Carla that was on that show. She had a contest, and
Mhm.
so for at home cooks, and so
Oh,
of course
nice.
Michelle entered herself into that contest, and you had to go on. It was everything was through Facebook to do votes. So I was doing that
Mhm.
as well, trying to vote for her, trying to vote for somebody else I knew was running. I'm like using all these Facebook accounts.
Right.
trying to I was like, I
Uh,
didn't realize I had so many Facebook accounts, but I got a bunch
right.
of them. So I was like, all right, we're gonna get this order popping. Look, Derek Tuggle moved over to YouTube. Hey, D Tuggle, what's up?
Hey,
So,
Dito.
yep. So yeah, you should see some of the comments that come in the comments section. So
Oh, Lord.
Megs, everybody is new to StreamYard. This your first
I,
StreamYard, Megs?
you know what? I take that back. It's not my first StreamYard. So, one of the many things that I do is I run. I don't know if anybody's familiar with Church Funny, but it
Okay.
is one of
Yes.
the largest Christian comedy platforms on the internet. Although we had a little incident with Instagram and they shut us down after we got over 300,000 followers.
Are you serious?
Yes, we were crushed. We were very,
Did you
very
move
crushed.
it over to
We
YouTube?
well, we're in the process of moving it to YouTube now, and we still have a huge platform on Facebook for sure. It's Facebook has surpassed it by leaps and bounds, but
Hmm.
someone we posted a video, and we were not with all of those followers, but Instagram is weird. We were not monetized, but someone reported a video that we shared that a lot of other people had shared. They assumed that we got money for it, and they put in a claim or whatever for copyright infringement, and we know exactly who it is. And it's like we were giving these content creators this huge platform, all these
Hmm.
people getting thousands and thousands of followers,
Hmm.
and this person was like,
Hmm.
and it was a video that of somebody else's child, wasn't even their child. And yeah,
Hmm.
we got shut down on Instagram. So it's like we've been kind of going back and forth on whether or not we're gonna start a new page. But if we do,
Okay.
it it will be it will be more tailored towards the professional content
Okay.
creators, like comedians and people that are actually doing this as a thing, not just,
Hmm.
no shade, but
Hmm.
every regular everyday people that are just doing
Yeah.
this with the goal of trying to go viral. So
Okay. Okay. I guess it's gonna have to try TikTok too.
right, yeah, yeah. We're debating about. I think my brother, we both were kind of exhausted, so we'll see.
Okay.
But
And
if
I can
anybody's
understand that.
interested, we also have Churchy Date, which is still thriving, and we just recently filmed our version of Pop the Balloon, so that'll be hitting
Girl,
YouTube very
you
soon.
know what? Let's have a conversation about that. So, have y'all seen the show Pop the Balloon, y'all? Michelle, thank you, Michelle, for joining us. Look, Michelle had me set up, look, showed me how to do the videos when me and Dr. Candace do Mental Health Minute. And
Nice.
so I didn't even do a video. I should, I don't, it's probably too late for me to even damn it share Pop the Balloon for y'all to even see it. And I don't know if Instagram would shut me down from for it or not. I know YouTube doesn't, and neither does Facebook. But
Hmm.
if y'all haven't seen this show, and I'm gonna try to get that young lady to come on here and talk, right? It's this show called Pop the Balloon, and it's like how many chicks was it standing up there trying to meet a man?
You know what? I've only like seen like clips of it, so I think it's what, like 7 or 8
Yo, I
people.
watched it. I went to YouTube and turned it on. I had this is the funniest shit I ever seen in my life, y'all. So it's like 9 or 10 dudes. Michelle, I was gonna send it to you, but I didn't want you yelling at me. So
Well,
it's
they
like nine or
vice
ten
versa.
dudes. Oh, they
You
do
know,
vice versa. Okay, so Derek Tuggle said 9 to 10. Yeah, it's like 9 to 10 people standing up there. So if it's a guy looking for a girl, it's like 10 women standing up there, one dude. So dudes was walking in the room and chicks was popping the balloon just off of sight. I'm just did you
that
see
show
the
is
one
so
where the guy
toxic.
did you see the one where the guy lost his job?
Huh?
The guy lost his job.
Was it the one that was like a real jerk?
Yeah. Yeah. He ended
Okay,
up getting
you
a woman. He got a woman, but he lost his job because the people was calling his job, calling him, talking, saying whatever. And he's a plumber or something.
oh no.
And they called
Uh,
his job and got him fired.
People are so that whole doxing people. I mean, there are some horrible people in this world, and they get on the internet, and I hate that they have a platform. But when you start affecting people's livelihoods, I mean, outside of extreme stuff like racist people or people that are being abusive and things like
Yes.
that, because there's just some people who are just ignorant. They don't need to be on camera.
Yes.
They don't need a microphone or anything
Mm-mm.
like that. Like, but doxing people you don't know in real life,
Mm-hmm.
that's crazy. I've seen it happen a lot on TikTok, but the funny thing is,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it kind of stopped a little bit because the people who are basically the victims of being doxxed,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
they've been filing charges, and people have been catching RICO cases on
Yeah.
TikTok in real
Oh,
life. So,
really? Oh,
oh yeah,
wow.
absolutely, yeah, they have been catching
Look.
RICO charges.
But the thing is, it's like at the end of the day, it's like, can you be mad at these folks for doing this at this point? Because at this point, when I look at the year 2024 and how it started off wow from the door, from the gate. It started off on one, right? And when I
Absolutely.
looked at 2024, this was the year of exposure.
Oof. And we thought they were saying that for 23 and 22.
Ain't
24,
nobody get exposed. 23 and 22 was nothing. Like when I think about 23, it was just like,
it was a couple of
eh.
things. Nothing but 24 has literally blown the door off the hinges.
Girl, it pounced on people like a damn tiger
Whew. I'm like, we can't even catch a breath because
Mm-mm.
it's something every day. Somebody is being and I
Every
mean, like,
day.
these big, huge people that I really believe they were untouchable. I'm like,
Hmm.
we don't.
But
Yeah.
that's what happens. People go through life thinking that they can, that everything is peaches and cream.
Hmm.
They think they can do whatever they want to do, and it's okay.
Hmm.
I have enough money that can take me out of the equation.
Hmm.
Like I could just get away with whatever. And what folks is finding out is, guess what? Your money don't mean nothing to anybody.
Exempt. You're not above the law. You're not above anything. Now, I'm not gonna go there, but there's only one person that seems to still be above the law that I can't wait. I can't wait until they get proven wrong and they're in jail. But I won't say the name.
Child,
But
that damn fool ain't going nowhere. Look, I know the name you're thinking, and it's so funny because the name that you probably thinking, which I know we on the same page, was actually here in Philadelphia yesterday.
mm,
And I'm gonna tell you something crazy. You have a great week, also, Cancer Slayer. Have a good one. Look, so he came here yesterday. He was actually in North Philly campaigning, right?
mm,
No lie, no other part of the city got a thunderstorm. Only where he was at. I bullshit you not. I can't make
see,
this up.
that
They said, you should have seen the rain coming down over there. What was going on? And everybody was like, we was like, rain. It was a block party going on around the corner. People outside partying, dancing, doing their thing. We knew nothing of a thunderstorm. No thunder even came over here.
right. I'm like, Lord, you couldn't let that lightning.
Child, I hollered. I
That's
said, "Oh my goodness!" It was hilarious.
hilarious. I was
And
gonna say
so
for
for those,
everybody watching, just so y'all know, we deviate. We haven't gone live with each other in a long time, so it might be a couple of extra conversations in between. But
yeah,
y'all
we
cool.
all over. Look, we all
Y'all just
over the place.
right, right. Y'all just watching two homegirls catching up.
Oh, catching up, catching up, catching up.
But
Look,
as
I mean, we
far
caught up. We caught up on the interview when I did the interview with Megs. Actually, I had to go into professional mode, and we
right,
caught up. But
right. But I will say to answer your question about the last 6 months, woo,
mm,
life has been lifing.
oh
Extra
Lord,
like
mm,
people love to see, and I love to people see people's wins and
mm,
all the good things they have going on.
mm,
And it keeps me motivated when people have like all this wonderful stuff happening, and they're like,
mm,
because you do want to put your best foot forward. You do want to present this, we
mm.
it's the culture to present
Mhm.
certain things on social media.
Mhm.
Um, but at the same time, I appreciate the people who are real and
Right.
like, look, this is not always fun. It's not always I stay peaches and herb. It ain't, it ain't I said all the time, I was like, this ain't peaches and it ain't all peaches and herb, honey. It ain't all peaches and herb.
Mhm.
But it's been interesting. But life is full of peaks and valleys.
Mhm.
And so I will say it was a struggle, especially like the last, I'll say 2.5 years, while my father was ill. I was juggling the business things,
Mhm.
all of the business stuff, plus
Mhm.
being caregiver. So that was a learning lesson. That was
Mhm.
something that I hadn't experienced before. So, um,
Mhm.
like I said, life was lifing, and people want to see people. They only think because you don't wear everything you're going through
Right.
that everything is fine. You have it all together when you're like,
Mhm.
no, I choose not to fall apart in public and have everybody
Mhm.
knowing that I feel crazy.
Mhm. Right.
But
Right.
that's my
Mhm.
decision because I don't look like what I've been through. But
Mhm.
even with that, with the struggles with that, and my father, he did pass in December. But
My
even with that,
condolences.
thank you. With like we were saying about mental health and pastries and baking and things, with me still baking and still pushing and
Mhm.
creating content and
Mhm.
taking on a new business, it was
Mhm.
a lot. But honestly, it helped me not dwell on the negative things that were happening
Okay.
between being caregiver. We're in and out of hospitals. We had
Mhm.
tons of scares here and there, and then two, just being completely honest, even like during, like towards the end of the pandemic and all that, going through a failed relationship, that's a lot. That's a lot.
Mhm.
And when you don't talk about it too much, people feel like, oh well, you'll be fine. And I'm like, I had plenty of days where I was like, I'm not okay. But
Right.
now that's what I'm saying. Because the baking, I've been doing that for years, but that's something
Mhm.
that I could always go to. And that's another way that it became therapeutic for me, because
Mhm.
that was my escape. It's like,
Mhm.
this is something I know, this is consistent. Like I'm gonna do
Mhm.
this, and this is going to be my outcome every time. So just to
Mhm.
have that little bit of normalcy, that
Mhm.
was that was like my escape, my therapy, my everything. And so yeah, just baking. And then I hadn't told you this, but I believe July 1st, I will
Mhm.
officially have finished my very first coloring and activity book for children. Yay!
Yay!
I have the cover and everything, and I'm putting
Congratulations.
last final little touches on it. It'll be for digital download. Eventually,
Mhm.
I'm gonna put it like on Amazon where people can order, paperback copy of
Mhm.
it. But that was something that, and I've been working on that for a long time, and then it was like I have to
Mhm.
put a hold on it because life was lifing.
Of course.
And but I just want to be real about it. Like I had to pick it up, put it down, pick it up, put it down. But I'm finally
Mhm.
just about finished with it. I'm extremely proud. Oh, and during this time, the last, well, I won't say 6 months because it's been about a year now, but still, even having the cheesecake book, the recipe of
Mhm.
cakes, that was
Oh,
something
that was nice.
I was really serious about. And for anybody wondering, it's still available. But just
Mhm.
having those things that I've accomplished,
Mhm.
that even though I feel like still some days I have when I'm like, my whole life is falling apart. But just having things that I can work on. And like I said, I appreciate you because you helped me things about business that I hadn't really paid attention to or just didn't know about, just kind of
Mhm.
putting a little bug in my ear, about this, or mentioning
Hmm.
this opened me up to the possibility of expanding the brand. So I'm still in the process of rebranding, but yeah, the coloring book, I'd love to do a whole Kendrick Lamar pop out again.
That was,
you
you
know
know what? And I'm sorry I missed that pop up, pop
oh
out in LA,
man,
you
it
know.
was
But
beautiful.
but you know what? I was looking and I'm looking at different things that's happening, because folks, just because y'all don't see me present on social media like I once was, which now I'll be getting back to being out a little bit more, don't
Mm-hmm.
mean I don't see the things that's been happening,
Mm.
And one of the things that I thought was amazing that happened this weekend, I don't know if you've seen it. Steve Russ, he's a DJ out of
Oh, okay.
Detroit,
Mm-hmm.
and he's been on a lot of different, platforms. I know Kenny has used them, for different
Yeah.
things, and he has been, he did a event down in Atlanta this weekend.
Oh wow,
It
nice.
was, I mean, and it looked like he had a great turnout from all of the pictures and things that I seen,
Nice.
and I'm like, wow, pop up party in Atlanta,
Right.
and I know he's from Detroit, so he had to fly in with all his stuff, but
Right.
but saying that to say we don't have to limit our pop ups.
Right.
You know
Right.
what I mean? Like he found a venue. He had some people that was on his team that was helping him and was
Mm.
able to do that. And I think that was amazing. I think that was great. I would
Yeah.
have loved to come. I was supposed to be in so many places this weekend,
Mm-hmm.
but I was in Philadelphia. I'm a member of National Coalition of 100 Black Women. We had our annual luncheon yesterday, our Madam CJ Walker luncheon. And so that was why I wasn't in the other states that I was supposed to be in.
Right. Yeah. And that's I
And
was
so
like,
because that's my obligation, that's what
right.
that's the organization that I
You did
love.
it
So
right.
right, I did my duty.
Right, right, right. Yeah, no, but that definitely inspired me. I'm like, I need to do another pop up. It would definitely be better. That's another thing, learning experience. When I did the CQ pop up in LA, there are a lot
Hmm.
of things that I should have done differently, but that was my first time, and I ended up biting it with some of the expenses. But I'm like, I want to do it again. It was so
And you
fun
can.
engaging with people, and
Hmm.
it's so much different. I mean, people can go online and order and everything, but to have
Hmm.
that connection with people and just having regular conversation. I run a business selling products, but I'm not a salesy person, if that makes
Right.
sense. I
So
just
it's
like to
finding a mouth. So it's
right.
like the next time you do a pop up, or if like decide to do one out of state or in your state and have everybody come, just next time having like a PRT, a mouth that can actually be a spokesperson for the brand to help you
Right,
get it out there so
right,
that you
right.
could, get all the
Yeah.
sales and everybody in.
One before the year is out. So I don't know. That's the thing with me traveling so much. I'm like, now where am I have it? Like, because
Mm.
that's what somebody was asking me. Well, where are the majority of your sales coming from? And I'm like, really, kind of all over. But I will say, shout out to the East Coast because y'all show so much love, and I'm like, it's so funny. Like the whole from
We
New York to
greedy,
Philly to I'm like, Maryland, East Coast represents for Oso Cupcakes so hard. And I love and
but it's
appreciate it
just
so much.
finding just finding the
Right.
location on the east that you actually want to do it.
Right, right. So I might have to hit you up and be like, hey, can you help me find a location? I saw D Tuggle's comment, what I thought was
Yeah.
so funny. So I'm, for those who don't know, I am in Southern California, and I'm like about 30 minutes outside of LA. But of course we still get KTLA news. And I thought it was
Mhm.
hilarious because he mentioned that Kendrick Lamar had shot the video for them. They're not like us in Compton
Mhm.
yesterday. And
Mhm.
what I thought was so funny was they did a segment on it, and when they
Mhm.
put the camera back to the newscasters, they
Mhm.
both had the biggest smiles on their face. And that tickled me so much. They were like, Kendrick
Hmm.
Lamar, shout out, he brought a lot. It was so many people out there. And it wasn't like people he hired. It was just everybody
Locals.
showed up. Cause I told my niece,
Hmm.
I was like, man, we should have went up there. We should have went up there and tried to get in the video, but it was a bunch of, and they were like, he brought a large crowd. And when they weren't even saying anything, so they shot to showing him, the video was on
Hmm.
him doing his thing. But when the
Right.
newscasters came back, they both were like, because what he did, his pop out, like I understand what his pop out was so much bigger than
Hmm.
just a Kendrick Lamar concert. When you
Right.
can bring all of those people, it was a huge win for LA, for
Mhm.
Compton. Like, and
That was
it does
awesome.
make you feel, especially for us, it does make you feel a little emotional because it's like, man, like Nipsey couldn't see this, but this is exactly
What
what
he
he
wanted.
wanted. What, yeah, he
Hmm.
would have, man, if he had a popped up, I mean, granted living,
Hmm.
but if he had been there,
Right.
that
Right.
place would have exploded. So,
Hmm.
but that's funny that he brought it up. I'm like, yeah, it was big to have all different sets on the same
Hmm.
stage and nobody's fighting each other. They had a whole big thing, nobody got shot. Shout out to him.
That's look. That's even better.
Right. Wasn't no shots fired afterwards.
That's
You
even
know.
better because I mean, it's like this gun violence across the United States is like ridiculous right now.
Right. Absolutely. It is. It is something has to be done. I know I feel like
Mhm.
there is a definite correlation between gun violence and mental illness. And it's
Yes.
like they don't want to deal with either one of the issues, but it's
Mm-mm.
you got the NRA who was like, absolutely not. You're not taking our guns. You're not putting restrictions on us. But then
Right.
the mental illness thing is like, well, no, it'd be easier for us and more lucrative for us to just fill our
Mhm.
prisons up than actually get people
Mhm.
the help that they need.
I don't even have no woman now.
And
And it's
now,
crazy because it's like I know at least in my city, they keep putting apartment buildings up. I mean,
mm-hmm,
granted, I'd rather see more apartment buildings up than prisons, but at the same
right,
time, we need to figure out what to do with this mental health thing,
right, right. And it's
And
funny,
as a mental health advocate, it's like,
right,
what are we doing? It's like we spending money
right,
for other things that really we shouldn't, and it's just like I can't even describe the number of times like I would host mental health programs and people won't show,
mm-hmm, yeah.
and things like that.
They did a real good job of drilling in stigmas with
Hmm.
mental health and stereotypes, and
Hmm.
and that was all strategic, and that goes back centuries, because it's
Right.
like,
Hmm.
you go into, and even just derogatory terms I see as derogatory, but saying people are going to a shrink, like that connotation that
You
goes
would think
with
people
it,
would
and I'm
stop
like,
using that. People still
right.
using those terms.
And that's, I'm like, but people need the help. You have so many people. I've found people that I know, the ones that need it the most are the most
Hmm.
adamant about not
Hmm.
going to a therapist. And I'm like, but you're not perfect, Patty, not by
Right.
any stretch,
Not by
because
a
if you
long
were,
shot.
you would
Hmm.
realize the way you handle things and talk to
Hmm.
people,
Hmm.
you might
Hmm.
do a little bit better if you talk to somebody, to
Hmm.
get some things off your chest, or you wouldn't be falling for certain things if
Let me
you
tell you,
actually.
I had an 80-year-old relative just start therapy last week for the very first time. And
Nice.
he called my mom and was telling my mom, because he didn't know what I did for a living. All he knew was I do something.
Hmm.
So, so he went to therapy. So he called my mom and he was just like, whoa, I feel good. And my mom said, well, I'm glad you do, and he goes, oh, I wore that therapist's ear out. I don't know if she want to talk to me next week. And so she was like, and so then he proceeded to tell her everything he told them. And my mom was just like, yeah, they didn't hang up on you, huh? And he was like,
Right.
no, And so then, my mom said, well, Tyra do that for a living. And he was just like, really? I didn't know what Girl did.
Lord,
I was
bless his
cracking up.
heart. Bless his
And
heart.
but it was good to hear someone in that age category because like I said, he's in his 80s. And the first thing he
Mhm.
said to my mom is, I feel good.
That's
I
awesome.
feel like a weight was lifted. And
Mm.
then after that, he was like, why the fuck ain't somebody tell me about this years ago? Because I should have been there. And and it was just like
Like we probably couldn't.
that
You're like,
part.
come on now. You,
you know but it was just like he's like, I never ever knew. He's like, I am so glad that, I mean, better late than never.
hmm
you know
Yeah, and
and
that's why I say, as
and
long as
I
you breathing, it's never too late for anything.
mm,
Absolutely. You can start over, you can start therapy, all of that. And
yep.
I tell people I was blessed in that, like with my grandparents, they came from
Mhm.
1920s, 1930s, stuff like that. But
Mhm. Mhm.
they were definitely a lot more progressive than a lot of black
Mhm.
people in that time, because
Mhm.
I remember hearing stories about different things before I was born, but different stuff that were going on in the family, and
Mhm.
different stuff with other people's relationships and how they handle things with their children. They were
Mhm.
proponents, like they were definitely like, you need to see somebody, you need to talk to somebody, you need to go to therapy, you need to. So they
Mhm.
definitely advocated for that, even back in the 50s and the 60s, when that was like, if you didn't, and they were definitely devout Christians, but
Mhm.
they also believe, yeah, God can deliver
Mhm.
you, you can get your healing you need from the Lord. You
That's
can
right.
also, if you need a little help getting there, you also need to hit up this therapist and get some stuff
Mhm.
off your chest. Because if you can't talk to us, you need to
Mhm.
go to somebody. So, I was blessed to have that. We had that in the family where, every now and then. And even my mother, she talked about, different things that were going on um,
Mhm.
years ago, well, when we were children and before, things with my parents and stuff like that. And she was like,
Mhm.
I had to take a couple days. She was like, I checked myself in, was like, I need to talk to somebody, like,
Right.
because she knew that's what, and it made her better,
Mhm.
just doing that.
Right.
She young, she's like early 30s, like early mid 30s, and
Mhm.
stuff was going the way it was going.
Mhm.
It's just like,
Mhm.
no, I'm gonna see y'all in a couple days. Like,
Mhm. Mhm.
like, this is too much. So I'm like, I thank God that I had a black family that still believed in
Mhm.
therapy, but I
Yeah.
understand. I understand the people that don't, and I understand the stereotypes. I know
Right.
that they are just stereotypes, but I've
Right.
always pushed and promoted
Mhm.
for people to find somebody that they can talk to. I just
Right.
told somebody that somebody, I don't remember who it was, but anyway, they were saying that they were thinking about going to therapy and they've been looking at it. And I'm
Mhm.
like, well, just know um, every therapist isn't for you. So you have to shop around a little bit before you find the
Mhm.
right. Because sometimes people think they can just go to anybody. And
Right.
that's not the
That's
case.
finding a therapist is like finding a mate, right? And you
Right.
gotta look around till you find the right one that is actually a fit for you.
Right.
And
Because
the
it's
next thing I
definitely,
will
it's a
say about
relationship.
that,
Mm-hmm.
right? And don't go to the therapist thinking you're going to get Ayanla, right? Because a lot of people
Right.
come in, I want, this is what I want my life. That ain't what it's about, right? You
Right.
got to come and you got to do the work as well.
Right.
It's a two part. We there to help
I,
and guide you, but we also need you to do the work as well.
yeah.
You
And as
know.
I was thinking about it, I was like, I know some people that I would suggest that they go to a therapist, but I'm pretty sure if they went, they wouldn't be totally honest, or they
Get
wouldn't
that
give
all the time.
everything they're supposed to. Yeah, because
Hmm.
they everybody wants to see themselves in the best light, and I'm like, I don't know
Hmm.
if because in order for therapy to work, you have to be honest. You have to be
Hmm.
just totally straight up.
Right, right. You got to be straight up, but the thing is, a lot of people, some therapists can pick up on it right away,
Mhm.
and some will just people just like let people dig into their own bullshit for as long as they can, and then it's like, okay, enough already, you
Mhm.
know. We therapists can fire their clients the same way their clients can fire them,
Right, right.
okay, and know that it's okay to do so,
Mhm.
because again, everybody's not for everybody.
Right, exactly,
You know,
exactly.
and it's not a money grab because I get clients sometimes that think they supposed to call me 24 hours a day and I'm picking up. Well, the pandemic is over. What I did during 2020 through 2023, that 2021, 22, that was different, right?
Call you
We out,
big
y'all, as look, all y'all folks running around, how about we outside? Now y'all need to take y'all asses back in the house because now y'all just doing the most.
call you Big Red. My hours are from 9
Ah, and
to
it's like
5.
now you want people to be open all night. No, 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 no. We not doing
Right,
open all night no more because at this point, if we outside, we can come during 9 to 5.
right, exactly. It's like times have changed now. Granted, it I know I say it all the time. People might think it sounds funny. There's a lot about the pandemic that I miss. But
Mm, let's
things
talk
have
about it.
I do. I'm sorry. I
Because
miss the
I seen the
pandemic.
post all week. People was posting. I miss being on Instagram watching watching Be Nice
Listen,
all night. I said, oh wow. People saying they miss CQ. I'm like,
yes,
wow. But at the
I
end of the day,
absolutely.
we miss it, but life had to go on.
I know. And I get that. I get that. I do.
But you know
But
what?
I have
But I
some
think
moments where I'm like,
that was our
it's,
whole that was our own little world.
it was. It was a whole world. And then it's like, we sat in the house wondering what was going to happen next. But for those of us who took advantage of it, we made the absolute best of the worst situation because none of us, at least
Yes.
not in our lifetime, I know there's some older people that lived through the other thing that happened back in the day, but
Mhm.
for us, this was our first and prayerfully the only one, but this was our first for real pandemic. Like the whole entire world shut down. None of us could
Mhm.
have ever imagined that.
Mm.
But we created a whole world. And when you
Mhm.
were
A
saying
new
about family,
community.
a whole new community. And when you're talking about family, it's like I think about those nights like when D would be playing, even before he moved into the house, like when he was still in the apartment and all that,
Mhm.
and it'd be super late at night. We'd be up 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, and he play some, or he would just kind of vent, and we all sitting up there. We have laughed together, we have cried together, we've consoled each other, and
Mhm.
that's how that community of family was
Again.
cultivated at that
Mhm.
time. And even though it was the best of times was the worst of times, but
Mhm.
that feeling like we're not alone, that's
Mhm. That's
in
what
when
happened.
jokes and having the fake barbecues, the picnic with the
I was just
cookouts.
thinking about that.
Yeah. Having the fake cookouts and stuff. And it grounded us, like literally ground,
Mhm.
but it brought us back to how things were even back in, like I felt so much like it was almost kind of like nostalgic, even though it was something new
Mhm.
for us. It's
Mhm.
like, okay, back in the day, AOL chat, we could sit and talk to these people, you know,
Mhm.
age, sex, location, all of that all day long. You chatting with people, MySpace days, it felt like the very beginning of social media when we were making friends. Because I
Mhm.
have friends that I made on social media over 20 years ago that are
Right.
still very, very good friends of mine. Like we
Mhm.
are literally family. We spend time with each other. We
Mhm.
all just friends, and that was from social
Right.
media way back in the day, and that's the feeling that it gave. So I guess it was just getting a bit of the past is what I miss,
Mhm.
having that
But
type
you
of.
know what I was thinking as you was talking? I was thinking about how when MySpace and all that came out, right? And AOL chat and all of that, we were all at working, school, whatever you had going on with your life, right? During that time.
Mhm.
we didn't really have time to really sit down and process those platforms. Like
Mhm.
we was learning that stuff on the go.
Right. Because that's what I was like, MySpace. I'm like, and Black Planet and all that. I'm like, we were coding. We were coding and didn't even realize we were coding because we doing these. I mean, totally coding and not even we
Yeah,
learning the whatever to type and put this in to change this to blue and change that. And it never dawned until later years we were coding. I could have made a whole business.
a whole lot of money we could have been making off of that back then to
Right.
now. Like, what the hell was we doing?
Right.
What was we
Right.
doing?
Right. Yeah. So yeah, we didn't really we got it, but we didn't.
Mhm.
And I
Right.
think this time
Hmm.
around, it was like we really, really got it. And
Yes.
shout out to the
Hmm.
people who were able to, expand and
Hmm.
maximize the moment from it. A lot of great
Right.
things came out of that, and like I said,
Hmm.
businesses and you know
Hmm.
things like that. But I do have moments where I'm like, I miss it because although it was chaotic, it was like we were all forced to go back to the basics. Just
Right.
bare.
It gave us all a new sense of normalcy,
Right.
but our new normalcy came through technology.
Mm-hmm.
Like we didn't revert to the pen and paper, like writing letters and pigeons and shit like
Right.
that, which I haven't seen a pigeon since COVID ended. Can somebody help me with that? I haven't seen a pigeon. So
Oh,
somebody needs to tell me if
I
y'all
feel
seeing
like
pigeons in y'all towns, let
y'all
me
still
know
have,
because I ain't seen a pigeon in Philly since.
I don't know. They might still have them in New York. I feel like I saw some the last time I went,
I
but
ain't seen not near pigeon in Philadelphia, and I used to see them all the time. I don't see nothing flying around here, but
oh,
the damn
not
squirrels.
not them getting the pigeons to cook. Oh.
Now, if somebody want to talk about something, let's talk about getting rid of them damn squirrels.
No, yeah. My
They
aunt had
annoying.
my aunt had a squirrel find its way in her house. So
Oh
yeah,
my. Oh, see,
yeah.
we ain't got time for this.
Eating
Not with those.
pizza. Eating
Oh,
her pizza.
well, the squirrels hit different these days. They hit
That
different. They do things that
when
I ain't never seen.
we've gotten so far off topic, but that's so hilarious because my aunt and my cousin and I were just talking about how I hate to say it, but squirrels have like advanced to they don't like regular wood and stuff like that. No.
Squirrel ain't
They be
squirreling.
expecting breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
They doing the most. They doing the most. I remember one time when I was working with kids years ago, and I remember this little girl came to a program, and I just remember my coworker, and she probably watching this on Facebook, cracking up when I tell this story. The little girl came in with a t-shirt on, and I think old Nick Gap had him, I think, with a squirrel on the front, and like squirrel is like at that moment, folks is like squirrel's like the worst animal you could even put on any kind of clothes. And when
Mm-hmm.
that little girl came to the program and the squirrel, she was like, "Oh, I see already. This is not going to be a good day." And
Right.
I was like,
The beginning of the end.
why would you put the squirrel on a child's clothes?" It's just like, girl, calm down. She only a little girl. She like, man,
Right. Like it
nah,
was
it ain't right. It
supposed to
ain't
be
right.
cute. Hilarious. That's hilarious. But
It ain't
yeah,
right.
the pandemic was something, and it took a
Mm-hmm.
lot to fight through it to stay sane. I definitely think there
Mm-hmm.
are quite a few people who did not stay sane, but I thank God for my portion of good sense.
Yeah. And some people
Easy.
came out. Some people came out the same way they went in.
This is true. This is
Some people went
true.
out the same way they went in. Some people, will I say that people changed? I seen a good amount of people did change, a good
Hmm.
amount.
Hmm.
I don't have a statistical number on the amount of change that actually happened.
Hmm.
When it came to some things, like a lot of people had relationship issues and things like that during the pandemic,
Hmm.
stemmed from issues prior to the pandemic, right? So we can't
Right.
blame the whole or everything on on the pandemic because the shit was
Right.
happening prior to, right?
Absolutely.
But when people thought they were gonna lose it all, I'm gonna lose it all. I'm gonna be friends with everybody. I'm gonna get my
Right.
I want my life back. I want to get everything. At the end of the day,
Hmm.
the change was temporary,
Right. At the end of the
you
day
know,
comes in.
and I think that was, a terrible thing, that it was, that kind of stuff would be temporary, not
Hmm.
permanent, and you've seen a lot of that happen,
Hmm.
and
Absolutely.
it's unfortunate, but my thing is at times is, sometimes we just gotta what recognize the situation for what it is, not
Right.
for what we want it to be.
Right. Yeah. And that's what I'm saying, like I mentioned before, I wasn't exempt from that, but like you said,
Hmm.
it was stuff going on even before the pandemic. So I think the pandemic definitely, even though 24 has definitely been the year of exposure, the
Hmm.
pandemic started the process
Oh,
for sure.
girl, did it start the
It
process? It opened the
it
door.
uh it opened the
Being
door.
trapped in the house with somebody for 24 hours a day, 7
Right.
days a week, 365 days a year. I didn't even let me do the math on them numbers, right? So when we look at that,
Yeah. So I'm like,
that's
if you
horrible.
have a situation where it's already contention and there are issues there when they're not there, them being
Hmm.
there and then them not being there even more, it is going to be a recipe for a disaster. But like exposure, it definitely, people couldn't cover up as much once the pandemic hit. They
Hmm.
couldn't cover up, one, who they really are. They couldn't cover up things they were doing and their certain routines and patterns that you might not have paid too much attention to because you had your own life routine patterns,
Hmm.
things that you were doing. And it's like, okay, it's getting harder and harder for me to
Hmm.
cover this up because now there's going to be more questions and more questions that I don't want to answer. So
That part.
let me just make this as tense as possible, make it uncomfortable for them so that,
Hmm.
maybe they'll leave me
Hmm.
alone and I can just keep doing this and they'll just think it's something else.
Hmm.
No, no,
Hmm.
everybody ain't built for to just go
Right,
along to get a that's
right,
I'm not a go along to get along person at all.
right, right,
Not even close. So,
right.
like I said, I wasn't exempt from that portion of it, but if it
Hmm.
was already going downhill before then, you know, put that last little nail in the coffin.
Right.
I mean, not the
But
last,
you made it
but
through.
I made it through. I did.
You
I
made
did.
it through. You are a survivor. You are a warrior. You made
I
it
feel
through.
Whitney Houston. I'm a survivor.
Yeah, look. Yeah, I mean, because bottom line is you made it through.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like during those times, it wasn't easy.
Mm-mm. Not at all.
It wasn't easy, and it's just like, but you came through with grace,
I've heard
you
that.
know. You came through with grace, and it's like when we look at it, like I just had to go in and see 8,760 hours spent with the same individuals.
I wasn't even,
2020. No,
well,
you did it. You
I went,
did it.
no, well, technically I did. Technically I did.
Technically,
Yeah,
right.
I won't go into the details, but
Right,
technically
right,
I did.
right. But technically, but when
But
you think, but it might have been half
yeah,
of that. Look, staying over
still.
2,000 hours with somebody. Hell, how about this? Wait a minute. Let's just take it back. Staying 40 hours sometimes is a bit, and
Right, depending on
sometimes
who
two
it
hours
is.
is too much.
Exactly. Depending on who it is, you be like, "Ooh."
It's like I gotta stay 2 hours with your ass,
I was about
and
to say
oh
2 hours.
no, 2 hours. Gee, oh please, no, I can't do two. I
It
can't even do.
definitely gets
I
there.
can't even do 10 minutes with you. Hello,
Right.
the thought that you stay 8,760 hours with somebody, girl, bye.
It has to be the right, it absolutely has to be the right somebody. I feel like you
The
would
right one.
have, you probably would have had to have liked them before the pandemic. Because if you didn't like them before,
What the hell made you think something was gonna change?
like if you didn't like me then, whew, you sure ain't gonna like me now.
What?
Just
What? Look, my thing
yeah,
is, well, maybe look, going to our topic of baking and cooking, it could be the cook, could be the food.
I don't know.
I mean, cause
It
some
could.
people weird like that.
I don't know. I
Some
just
people
know
weird
that
like that, and they
I
stay for the
know
cooking.
that. Well, I just know for me
Hmm. Hmm.
to keep my sanity and to keep
Hmm.
me focused on something productive,
Hmm.
baking is what got me through. And it
Hmm.
definitely, the boost I got from CQ. We talk
Hmm.
about CQ all the time, but it's such a huge part of my evolution that I can't have a conversation and not, bring up Derek and CQ and all of that stuff like that. But having, that attention and having things, I'm always the type of person, if I have an obligation and I know people are expecting a certain thing, I'm not going to be raggedy and I'm not going to haphazardly do things. I
Right.
feel I put so much pressure on myself already. But
Hmm.
for something like that, I'm like, I have to make sure this is right, working
Right.
through kinks and all the stuff like that. So I'm going to take it seriously and deliver
And you
whatever
did.
whatever needs to be done. I'm like, you get bombarded with like thousands of orders overnight.
Hmm.
Whew. But that kept me sane. That gave me something to do.
Hmm. Derek Tuggle said he's seen a few pigeons and some crows and some seagulls. Thanks, Derek. I'm glad you seen them.
Well, I say he must be downtown LA.
Yup, he must be.
Right. I haven't been downtown LA in like a little minute. You know what? Speaking of the
What?
pandemic,
What?
and yeah, we're rambling, but this is just homegirls conversation. Y'all are just preview
Y'all with
to our regular conversation.
look. That might have to
But
be the new. That might be have to be the new segment or the new podcast, Homegirl
right,
Conversations, because I
homegirl
think that's what it's going.
conversations.
Girl, we about to have a whole look. Tyler's
The
just saying network is about to really go real big, and we're about to
right.
have Homegirl Conversations with
Come
Megs.
on, manifestations. Yes.
Come on, come on. We'll make this in fruition
But I
within
was
24 hours. Look.
right. It's been so long since I've been. Well, I take that back. I went downtown LA. It's been a minute. It's been a long time,
Hmm.
guys. Because we used to go downtown all the time. But the
Hmm.
craziest thing was when this was before D Nice moved to his home when he was still living. Well, I guess I can say it now, but which is crazy because I don't know if you knew, but apparently somebody, when he was still in his apartment, they were looking in the background of his videos and they pinpointed where he was and showed up. But that's just what I
I
heard.
remember that.
Yeah. Well, actually, he said it on live. But anyway, when he was still down there,
People was ridiculous. People was
right,
doing this is the most we were talking about. People
right,
doing
doing the
extra stuff.
absolute most, right. So when he was still down there, and I was taking some desserts over there.
Hmm.
The craziest thing, I've never seen LA like that in my life.
Hmm.
Everything was completely boarded up. I
Hmm.
was literally the only driver in downtown LA. The police weren't out. Nobody. I was the only car. There was no people walking down the street. There,
Hmm.
everything was boarded up, like I said, and I mean, there was no other cars, and it looked like a ghost town. I had my
Hmm.
aunt, and she was assisting me with the cakes and stuff, and she was like, "All we need is some tumbleweeds." Like,
Hmm.
she was,
Hmm.
but
Hmm.
it was the most eerie thing in the
Hmm.
world to see Los Angeles completely dead. And this was
Hmm.
during the day. This was like one
Yeah.
thirty, 2 o'clock in the afternoon,
Hmm.
and nothing. That was the craziest thing ever. But now they got seagulls, pigeons, crows, cats, dogs, people everywhere. I
She
the
said
last time
crows, dogs, people.
the last time I went downtown LA, that I can remember when I was preparing for the pop-up shop, and I
Hmm.
wasn't ready for when you were talking about the for mental illness and them creating apartments and things like that. I wasn't ready
Hmm.
for the amount of homeless people. Like we have a lot of homeless people here, but it was like downtown was overrun
Massive.
with, yeah, and
Hmm.
you see people, they clearly have mental illness, and like you were saying,
Hmm.
they've been building apartments there. They just announced they made, I don't, it's a huge building of
Hmm.
apartments that they made for people on Skid Row.
Hmm.
So, and they look very, very nice. They also have like health advocates that'll be there with them as well,
Hmm.
getting people on track. So,
Hmm.
I think that it's a move in the right direction. Shout out to Governor Newsom, because they passed an
Hmm.
initiative that they're working on. They're going to be training people to be
Oh, okay.
mental health care workers and counselors. It's a
Good.
huge,
Okay.
huge thing that they're really,
Hmm.
really going to advocate for mental health and people with mental illness and mental disability. So
Oh,
shout
that's
out
awesome.
to Southern California. So
Yeah,
yeah.
that's awesome. That's
Mm-hmm.
going to be great. I mean, I know they have a lot of, initiatives here in Philly, but that they are working on and things, and hopefully we'll get to see some of this stuff, actually come to fruition, because I know
Mm-hmm.
like right now they really focusing on these kids because they're, there's a lot of anger out there, and it's like
Mm-hmm.
we see it all the time, and it's like just trying to find programs and find things for these children to do, especially now with the summer coming.
Right.
It was, it's like if you could find something for them to do to get them
Mm-hmm.
engaged, something that they like, I think that would, that would be, awesome, that to see happen. But shoot, we don't know. Look, we don't know.
Yeah, and that's what some kids that are angry. I'm like, why are you mad? Y'all don't even really have any problems, but
Mm-mm.
okay, you
Nothing.
just angry.
Nothing.
Just
For no reason.
right, but
I'm
we'll
like,
deal with y'all
shoot.
too. We'll help y'all too.
And I'm sitting there and I was like, it ain't like they doing y'all like they did us. Like they open the door and lock our asses outside. Don't come back until 12 at lunch.
Right, like if you
Come
ain't
back
there
in
by
to lunch
like
and then lock your ass back outside until 4, 5 o'clock for
right,
dinner.
right,
I'm like, y'all got it made.
right, exactly. So
Y'all got it made, Jack, because our people didn't care for us. I mean, they cared for us. They
they
loved us
care, but
dearly, but
yeah,
they made us responsible
they
too. They made us grown.
they made us responsible, and they also made us realize you on your own. You bet look, you better not get kidnapped. Like you let yourself, how you let yourself get caught? You know. Now, how did
We
you
told
end
you.
up
We
here?
told you we're not the walk.
Right.
We
Right.
told you we're not the walk. And it's like every time I'm laughing because I was thinking about the book. Will Smith wrote a book. I think it was 2022. Yeah, 2022. His book came out, and he
Mm.
wrote it about his life. And I grew up, down the street from them or
Oh yeah.
whatever. And it was so funny because in his book he wrote about the house nobody was supposed to walk in front of. And all I could do when I got to that part of the book, I was like, yo, you put everything in here.
Right. But
And it was like
we
so
can all
funny to
relate to.
me. And it was just like, and it was like people that's, they live in the neighborhood was like, yo, did he just put it all out there? Yes, he did.
Right.
And he was like, and then he wrote about the person. He's like, I still don't know what happened to that person. It was just like, wait, we
Listen.
like, oh God, it was like reading the book. I mean, the situation is not funny, but it's funny
Right.
when you lived
Because
it,
you lived
lived
through.
through all of it. Because it was just like, oh no, go across the street. It is just like, yo,
Right.
if something was gonna happen to us, don't you think the person could cross the street?
Across the street. But we all had those places that we know. We crossed the street.
Yeah.
I guess the logic was if we crossed the street, it would take a little bit longer for them to kill us.
Hmm.
I'm just saying. Like, oh goodness.
mean, I tell you, when I read his book, it brought back so many childhood memories that all
Right.
I could do was holler because it was just like,
And you think about some of the stuff that was normal for us as kids that really
hmm
matured us and taught us responsibility. We live in an
yep,
age now where if we were to retell the things, like
hmm
tell kids like we did this, we didn't,
we going to
they would,
jail.
one, parents would have definitely been in jail, and like easily just
Easily.
took up a whole residency at the local
hmm
precinct. Um,
Yes.
but they would probably think that was abuse. That was but I'm like, but I was better for it. It's
hmm
like you have to be responsible because the thinking was, your parents are they gonna be there as long as they're gonna be there. But you're going to have to grow up and deal with the real world and deal with real life
hmm
issues. And I think
And
that's
that just,
some
hmm
of what they're struggling with now is because a lot of the younger people now, they grew up in the everybody gets a trophy era,
yes,
and
yes.
they are now adults and they are struggling. They're
Because now
old.
they find out everybody don't get a trophy,
Everybody doesn't get a trophy. I
you
don't know if
know.
you follow Lovey. I don't know her last name, but it's Luvvie.
Derek told us here we would
He
all
said
be
we
in
be in
foster
foster care.
care.
Basically,
He ain't never lied.
that's the whole truth. We would be in foster care if only they knew. I think I saw something. A lady got in trouble because she let her, I can't remember if it was a 12 or 14-year-old watch the kids. And I'm like, but that
That's
was the age.
yeah,
Back in the day, I feel
yeah.
like
You would
legally,
hire
yeah,
you would hire somebody at 12-year-old to come over to keep an eye out.
right. And I'm like, how are people getting in trouble over that now? Like, y'all claiming that's abuse?
They
Like,
get in trouble for everything now.
yeah. And I'm like, what is there? It's weakening society, but what is the
Mhm.
end game of doing that? What is the
Right.
point of doing that? Because
Mhm.
people can't take nothing now. Like they
No.
can't take anything. And
Mm-mm.
it is annoying to me. It is so annoying. And I have to watch myself because I'm very blunt sometimes.
hmm hmm
And I have to like check myself because I'm like, oh, I forgot. I breathed in your direction, my bad.
hmm
Like,
hmm
the child, I guess I don't get it, but I just pray
We
for
never will. We
I
all we
pray
can do is
for
pray.
better days.
Yup. And it's just like I think about like being a little girl and the things that we learned, swinging back to, baking. My grandmother used to be a professional seamstress as well as she used to do a lot of baking in her, when she was alive. And I
Hmm.
used to think about how that was her happy place, and one thing that, you was talking about was, how baking, boosts your endorphins, right? And the act of baking, creating something delicious can release endorphins that we like to call the feel good chemicals in your brain, right?
Now,
And it
yeah.
also helps you with managing stress. Dr.
Mhm.
Berger said that baking is an opportunity to clear out our heads and de-stress.
And
And we have to use it as such,
that is
right?
very, yes, that is very, very
hmm
true. I'm definitely, I believe it. And
hmm
it definitely makes me feel good. And especially when it comes out perfect, it
It's
comes out exactly the way I want it to. And then
I
I
know
get,
them cookies do. And
right.
that German chocolate rum cake, it sure do come out perfect.
And I haven't made one of those in so long, and now it's the summer, so I won't be making them until the fall. But I just mentioned that to somebody the other day. I was like, I do make them, but I'm not gonna
And
do
they be
that
good too, y'all.
because the heat
But
the heat has been crazy. So I'll definitely be
yeah,
putting ice packs in
look, if you
orders.
had to make it, you just can't put no icing on it. Just ship it like it is. Look.
Right, like my cousin, we always laugh at that. She makes really good German chocolate cakes, and
hmm
she was making one. Her dad had taught her. She was making one, and she had the layers. And her
Hmm.
son, he was pretty young at the time. Him and his little cousin were at the house, and the little cousin said, "What kind of cake is that?" And he said, "That's a chocolate cake, but she ain't put the German on it yet." So I was like, maybe I have to make a cake and just put the German on the side. Like somebody, he
Put it
called
on
the
the
frosting the
side.
German. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, put the German on the side.
Put the German on the side, and
Right,
you just fix it up yourself. But
right.
baking, I like to use baking as a form of art therapy because it
Mm-hmm,
is a form of art. And when you think about, all that goes into baking, the
mm-hmm.
finished product, I mean, y'all are artists.
I
Y'all
like to
go
think.
hard with that. You know what I mean? And so it's like, so with that, where you might not see yourself as an artist, you
Mm-hmm,
are a culinary artist,
mm-hmm. Absolutely,
you
absolutely.
know, and,
It,
and it's a form of therapy.
it is, and that's why I'm like, I bake, but I don't look at it like baking. Like it's an art and it's a science. Art and sciences go together, but I always tell people it's the science because I've always loved science. So
Hmm.
seeing how chemicals react and all of
Chai
that,
is a part of STEM.
it
And if anybody tries to say it's not,
right.
they a lie.
I have
Is
to make sure
being
I let my nieces know that because they're definitely STEM girlies. So shout out to
being a
her,
chef is a
Kristen.
part of STEM.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I'm pretty sure there is always people out there that's going to argue to beg to differ,
Mm-hmm.
but you just said it yourself. You're
Yeah,
mixing chemicals.
right. Exactly, exactly. So yeah, I like to think of it that way, and I try. That's why I try to
Mhm.
explain it to people when people say, "Well, I can't bake. I can't." I'm like, well, if you can't read and you can't comprehend, then no, you can't bake. But if you can read and you have decent cognitive skills to comprehend some things, you can bake. But a lot of times, what people are really saying is they don't have the patience
That
for
part. Because
they
if
don't
you got a good measuring cup, you should be able to do what you need to do.
right because it literally tells you on the
Hmm.
cup what it
Hmm.
is and the
What
little
to do.
spoons, everything is
Hmm.
written on it. So
Hmm.
the
It's
people don't
up to
have
you to pay
patience.
attention.
Right, right. Because I have people, I've given out recipes before, and they keep telling me it didn't turn out the way. Da, da, da. One, I've been making this a much longer time than you, but whenever I ask, well, did you follow this? Did you do this? And well, mm, like don't even finish the statement because I know what's coming next. No, you didn't.
Right.
So
Right.
you do your own thing. Cut corners. You cannot cut corners. So
Because you always get caught.
right, exactly, exactly,
Always get caught when you cut corners.
exactly, exactly.
It's the no sugar in the chocolate mousse.
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You can be cooking is more forgiving than baking, for
Hmm.
sure. And
Hmm.
once again, it goes back to science.
Hmm.
So if certain things you put together that aren't supposed to go together, they're not going to give you
Hmm.
the result that you want. So yeah, but
Yes.
it definitely gives feel good vibes. And aside from the actual baking, just having seeing people's reactions to
Hmm.
to baking, like enjoying it, that's
Hmm.
definitely a boost for me. Or getting, positive
Hmm.
feedback, stuff like that. That does it for me. Honestly, I probably would have closed up shop a long time ago, at least a couple years ago, especially when everything started really going crazy in my life. But
Hmm.
just having people that still are outside from purchasing, but still
Hmm.
giving positive feedback, or ooh, this was so good. That keeps me motivated. Just even if it's
Right.
a quick little note or something like that, it
Hmm.
definitely keeps me motivated because, especially like you said, what's going on last 6 months, I've been this close to being like, you know what, maybe I should just announce we going on a real long break. But then I'm like, but what am I gonna do with my time? Even though I have a bunch of stuff I have to do.
Hmm. Right.
Like I still do, business consulting and things like that. But I'm like, but
Hmm.
my heart, I love the baking and
Mm-hmm.
all of that. So I'm just thinking of ways to expand and expound on that.
But it all come together as it
Ma-
always does.
Absolutely, absolutely. I got a couple of things I need to finalize and sew up. And after that,
It's on and popping.
cut
So
some cords and run me my money.
I know that's right. So you have any new flavors coming out with cupcakes this summer?
Oh, duh, I forgot. I just launched brownies.
Really?
Brownies are on the menu now. I'm doing it for a limited time just to see.
Okay.
Now, the first day that I posted about it, I got a
Mm-hmm.
big reaction right away.
Okay.
So I'm like, yeah, and I had somebody, even when she placed the order, she put in the notes and was like, I've been waiting for this. Like, I'm
Okay.
like, oh, okay,
You
like,
still got the membership?
I don't do that anymore. I didn't really get as big of a response, so
Okay.
I don't do the I have the OSC rewards. Nobody has ever used their rewards points, and it's some people that order
Really?
all the time. They're racking up these points. Nobody ever uses the reward points.
Oh my
And I'm like,
goodness.
and I'll send separate messages like, hey, you have, or I like send stuff directly to them. I think they just kind of forget about it. But I'm like, I have people that have racked up so many points and nobody uses their points. So I'm like,
Mm.
okay, maybe they're just extra supporting and being like, oh, I'll
Mm-hmm.
still go ahead and pay full price. That's fine too. But
Right.
yeah, so just launched brownies. You can get them with or
Okay.
without nuts. I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
baby start a little bit of an extra line. I have a friend that he's been asking me about banana pudding brownies.
Oh,
So
okay.
I'm thinking about
That's
I'm
interesting.
testing out some recipes, seeing
Okay.
seeing how that goes. So yeah,
Okay.
but yeah, so far that's the newest thing. And then of course, like I said, I have the coloring book coming out. It's going
Mm-hmm.
to be a trace coloring book, so it's kind of just
Okay.
something to
Trace
keep
by
kids.
number.
Right, yeah. So we're
Okay.
doing the first one is going to be alphabets, and
Mm-hmm.
of course it's baking themed. So
Mm-hmm.
you got A is for aprons, and then you got
Mm-hmm.
food and utensils and things
Mm-hmm.
like that. So I'm really excited about it because I love the kids. I love the
Yeah, I
kids.
think that's good though because they don't have that no more in school.
Right, right, yeah.
So
So
you don't
I'm
have to have
doing
it
the
at school. You're gonna
regular.
learn it at home.
Right. And next will be cursive, and then we'll do numbers and,
Mm-hmm.
things like that. But the first one, I'm almost done with it. So, like I said, I'm slating it for July 1st release.
Okay.
And,
Mm-hmm.
people have their babies, their grandbabies, the great grandbabies. I'm sure it's something that they'll love. And it's, like I said, it's starting out digital. So they can
Mm-hmm.
print out the sheets and do little fun activities and all of that. That'll be
Okay.
my little contribution because I definitely come from a family of educators. So I'm always thinking
Okay.
of ways to stretch the
Mm-hmm.
minds of the children.
I know that's right. I know that's right. We got
Yes,
to.
right. And then for anybody that's still watching right now, this I will say this weekend special, if you use code DOUGH 24 DOUGH 24, you will get a discount on cookies. So yes, Dough 24 is discount, 20% discount off all cookies, and that includes the brownies too. So I put the
Oh
brownies with,
wow.
yeah, put the brownies with the cookies.
Okay.
So
I'm putting it
yeah,
in the I'm putting it in the
I
comments
should have said
so
that
it'll
earlier.
pop up. It's gonna still replay.
Nice.
So they see it, they'll see the code on Facebook and YouTube, and I'll type it in Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I got it. They
Yep.
shall see it.
So that is what I'm working on now. Just
Awesome sauce.
coloring book, the Oh So Colorful coloring book, and
All right. Oh,
I
so
have a couple other
colorful.
things I'm working on, but I'm not at liberty to talk about those yet. Gotta
Talk
wait to
about it
see.
later.
Yeah, gotta wait to see, make sure it happens, and then I let everybody else know and all of that good stuff. I started to do like the subscription thing with Instagram where I could just do
Mhm.
exclusive stuff. but I don't have 10,000 followers yet. So I hate
Yeah,
that whole
neither do I.
thing. So, ugh, but yeah.
Yeah, neither
And
do
I
I. And I
don't
ain't
know how to
even.
start a
I'm like,
channel. People start the channel thing on it, and
mhm.
I think that is, I'm sorry, for the people that I accidentally like got added onto their channel thing on Instagram, I regret it and I probably should leave. But then I kind of feel bad because if they could see I left, I don't want them to think that I was being shady. I just think it's stupid because at first it used to be a separate like
Mhm,
inbox thing
mhm.
message, but now
Now it's
they
all in
have
one.
they have the inbox, whatever the second in the primary, the general,
It's running
then they have
all
the
in one.
channels. But if they send you something in the channels, it's gonna show up in the other inbox at the same time. And a
Yeah.
lot of times people I didn't really understand what the purpose of the channels were because
Hmm.
all I would see was like people posting the most random stuff. And I'm like,
Hmm.
why are you here?
Hmm.
Like, and
Right.
how did I get here? That's the bigger
Right.
question. How did I get
Right.
here? I don't know.
Yeah.
But maybe I'll create a channel so I can put some exclusive content that I'm not posting just
Yeah.
uh, working on that. But that's pretty much it for me.
Yep. It do help with building engagement.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
yeah,
Kind
as
of
long
get
as you engaged, because I fell off of my channel.
right. Yeah,
I'm gonna rename it. I think though.
right. And then I was like, I started to, but then I've always had this thing. I don't want to get on people's nerves. I feel like I'm annoying
Yeah.
people. Even with my
Well.
email marketing, I
Hmm.
rarely, maybe I need to do more. I don't know, but I always feel like when I do it, is like, am I annoying somebody? Because I rarely send emails, but people are
Well, I
fickle.
would say if you could do it, well, we'll talk off, off the camera. We'll talk, because
Mhm,
I have some, ideas, and I like how certain people that I actually follow how they do theirs or
mhm,
whatever, and so I'll just share it, share it on live. So a lot of people like to send their emails out on Sunday or Monday and just
mhm,
start the week off with it, and just have it come out every Sunday or every Monday.
mhm.
Then you have those who, if you follow their what is it called? You follow their page, right? You subscribe, for
Mhm.
example, and you use your phone number. You can like for example, Miss Bling Miami,
Oh yeah.
the clothes, she does every Friday at 12 o'clock.
Okay.
Every Friday at 12 o'clock, you'll get a text message
Okay.
telling you that she got some new stuff out or what the sale is or what's going on. Every
Mm,
Friday at 12, never fails.
okay. Just pick a designated day that they know that's gonna be the
Hmm.
day.
Yep. And I
Implement.
would have never knew that day until I met her in person when she came to Philly for an event a couple years ago.
Mhm.
And she talked about, she's like, girl, I said, oh yeah, I just got your text message. And we started laughing.
Hilarious. Hilarious.
I
Yeah,
just
I
got
might have.
your text, girl.
Yeah,
So
definitely. Yeah. I'm like
so that's
halfway.
something they could do. So,
Yeah.
but this was awesome
Yeah, no, I had a
as
good time.
usual.
I don't want anybody to think I'm being rude. I was like trying to look at
I
the
know, trying to
live.
look at all of it. Yeah, that's
Right.
the only thing when we go on StreamYard, you can't really
You can't
see
see
what's going
everything.
on unless you log on to all the devices to see at the same time. Only
Right.
thing we see is I guess Instagram probably has to work on that, but only thing we can see is YouTube and Facebook comments. And when you go to comments on your end, you can
Mhm.
hit comments at the top and you should be able to see everybody's comments that's coming in
Okay.
to the page and everything. But
Okay.
we'll have a tutorial on StreamYard on the back end.
Oh, I see comments. Okay, now I see it.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I tell you, it's just a whole
You know
nother
what?
world,
We
child.
use StreamYard because we used to go live sometimes on it would be mostly on Facebook, but we would stream it. We had to work some kinks out with it going to Instagram too because the formatting was a little off. But we did
Yes.
StreamYard because we would go live sometimes on
Yes.
Church Funny on Facebook, and then
Mm-hmm.
we'd stream it other places because we used to do a thing where
Mm-hmm.
we would like basically pick each of us. It was like five of us, 4 or 5 of us. We would
Mm-hmm.
pick one of whatever our favorite funniest video for the week was, and then we
Mm-hmm.
discuss that, and then pick a topic, and we do that topic during, and we would go live on Sundays,
Okay.
like Sunday night, like about 7 o'clock.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm kind of rusty, I'll say, with StreamYard.
Yeah, just gotta get it. Yeah. I was like, now I got all this extra time. I
Yeah.
can sit down and go through some
Like,
things.
low key, I got extra time. Shoot, anybody hiring? I'm looking for a job.
Yeah. Tell me about it. I'm doing that too, looking for other contracts too.
That's what
So,
I said. I like to keep it real. I can see, I tell y'all the fun, fancy stuff that's going on,
but
but
I'm gonna
the way
give it to you real too and let you the real
be
things.
real, there's another baker that I follow. She was actually some years ago. She was on one of those baking shows, competitions, or
Hmm.
whatever like that, and she's built her platform up pretty big. And
Hmm.
she left her job, and
Hmm.
she was able to go full time. But this year, things have been really hard for a lot of people, and there was no
People
shame in
went
her.
back to work.
She's still doing her baking retreats. She's got a line of
Oh, nice.
chef jackets, all this stuff she's doing. But she also was like, I just got a job at the post office, like, because this
Because
is
it's
what we're
real out here.
right. Yeah, she's like, and she's still doing all these wonderful things, having baking classes, cake decorating classes, and all of that. And I'm like, girl, that's the wave.
Yeah, it's. I mean,
That's the wave
it's
right
real
now.
out here. You got to do what you got to do,
Listen, I'm
and
like,
don't feel bad about it. Is
don't
you
feel
don't
bad.
have to feel bad or guilty about getting a
Any
job.
entrepreneur watching this, even if you watch the replay, do not feel bad. It's not a step back. It's
It's
you
a
might
step
take
up.
it's a step up, it's a step aside, because the job is a job. And
Hmm.
don't let anybody shame you if you got to
Hmm.
take a break, or if you're doing that and you got a job. That's called wisdom. That's called
Exactly.
wisdom. If it's not quite hitting in one area, do what you
Mhm.
need to do to take care of yourself.
Yep, and the money is real.
The
Hello.
money is real and it's been the same. I'm
Hmm.
like, if I didn't have the morals and stuff that I had, let me tell you how quick I'd be on OnlyFans.
Hmm.
I was like, she gonna catch it in a second. Like,
Look, I quit it right away.
listen,
Look,
let me
everybody and their
tell you
mama
something.
over there do it. Look, everybody on their mama over there working and
Listen,
making money
if
too.
it wasn't, look at what they used to say back in the day. If it wasn't for shame,
Let me tell you, it was this other group I was in. I'm gonna find the post, find what I. They was making money off of showing their feet.
I've heard that. I've
This
heard that.
woman
I don't know
told
if we've had
me
that
in this
conversation.
other group,
It
she
would
said,
definitely have to
child,
be.
she told me, she said, girl, I done made me a few hundred a night showing my toes. And she said, I sit there, take my polish off, put my polish on, I wiggle them around. I put whipped
Listen,
cream on them. She said,
we'll
whipped
have to
cream,
talk.
like you get.
Okay, I haven't done it. Even if I did, that's my business. I haven't done it, but we'll talk offline about that, because for some reason, and I don't know why, this was like earlier last year, maybe.
Right.
I don't know why, but my For You page on TikTok was so wild. It was not because I was searching this stuff, because I was not. But for some reason, it was like for a whole week or two,
Hmm.
my For You page was blowing up with informative videos on topics
Oh,
such as that and others. And I
oh.
learned, like I said, I haven't done it, but if I did, that's my business.
Mm.
But I learned so much. I learned so much, and I was like, it makes you think.
Yeah.
It definitely makes
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
think. Because I'm
It puts
like,
you in a different mindset, that's for sure.
I mean,
Hell,
I
if Lil Nessa doing it from the Bernie Mac show, I mean,
hey, you gotta do what you gotta do.
gotta
A
do what you
job
got
is
to
a job. Listen, she making her money.
making her money. I ain't mad at her. Do you, boo?
I was in Indiana last week, and I was telling my sister friends about something, a video that I found out, and the lady explained what she does with certain things. And
Hmm.
when I got down to the key trick that she
Hmm.
uses, they were like, "Are you serious?" And I was like, "I never thought of it." And a
Ooh.
week later, my homegirl hit me up and she was like, "Girl, I'm stuck." All I'm gonna say, I'll tell you in detail offline. But
Right.
she was like, "Girl, a potato? A potato? I can't get past." I said I was stuck too because it never crossed my mind. Because
Oh
nothing
my
like that.
gosh.
People are innovative. People are
Yeah.
extremely innovative and they are
They
making
find
serious
things. They
money.
they they make it work.
They are making serious, serious money. Mm, But I'll
Making
tell
things work
you,
for them. But
it
hey,
yeah.
hmm
So
if it's making sense, then make it make sense.
make it make sense. I'm like, if I could find somebody to just pay me to eat cookies, I don't know.
Yeah, there's somebody out there doing it.
There's somebody out there doing it. Or if I could find the person that does that, I got some cookies
Hmm.
for you to try.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah, they are some out there. You want to know is it men out there showing feet? Yup.
Probably. Oh, I'm
It's a
sure.
whole app. I gotta find what I did because I had to I was too slow with typing. I had to screenshot the website and all of it. But it's a whole app on your phone that you do this. And they was like, oh yeah, you make that money. I'm like, oh my gosh. It
I
seemed
don't
too
know.
much, but my thing is another form of income.
It is. It's another
You know,
stream
and
of
Derek, you're an actor, so it's cool.
I'm
It's
not
just
not not
just we
kidding.
gonna look at it as an acting job and
There you go.
see.
Just yeah. It's an acting
Hmm.
gig.
Yep, it's a acting job, just and scene,
But I'm gonna get off
as
here
if you're
'cause
getting paid daily.
y'all don't let me get
Yep,
off this live and be like,
figuring it all out. Look, figuring it all out. Job, make it make sense and make it make
right,
sense.
right. But okay, we said we're gonna get off because we
I
could talk.
know we've been on here almost 2 hours, girl.
Right,
I
right.
want to thank everybody for joining us
Thank
tonight for our
y'all.
need for this new plant for this new setup that I got with Tyra's just saying. I want to thank Chef Megan Ashley for joining me tonight from Oh So Cupcakes, who we love so much. Thank you so much for joining me this evening.
Thank you for
And we're gonna be talking anyway.
right,
So, and
right.
you're a friend of the
I'm
show,
itching
so
to get off the phone so I can text you what I
I
can't
know.
text you.
So So you know what? But you know what the funny part about this is? You don't have to use your phone with StreamYard. You can use your computer
Oh yeah, I
and be
need
on all the platforms. Yep, and be
to
on
get
all platforms.
better, a better
Yep,
what's the name?
yep. Because I'm sitting up here with three phones and a iPad
Business.
hooked
But
up. But yep. All right. Thank you again, Max.
thank you,
Everybody.
thank you.
All
Remember,
right.
y'all, the code for today is dough
It's Doe
24.
24.
You can get a
Doe
discount on some
24,
cookies and
y'all.
brownies.
Yes. Thanks again, Max. Thank
Thank
you, thank
you.
you, thank you for coming on. I'll let you out. Bye. All right, everybody. Again, that was Chef Megan Ashley. I want to thank her for coming on. We're going to get ready to sign off, but I want to thank you all for joining me this evening. I will be back on next Sunday, June the 30th. I will be on with my good friend T Goodwin, and she'll be on talking about all the amazing events that she has going on at Essence Fest next weekend or in 2 weeks. No, next weekend. Next weekend is July the 4th, and next week is so oh my God, this month is really moving on. So I have T Goodwin on next Sunday at 6 p.m. Look forward to talking to her. I want you all to have an awesome, awesome, awesome week. God bless, and I will see all of y'all again very, very soon. Have a good one, y'all.